Is it running already?
Oh, we're running.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
yep. It's okay.
All right. Hi, my name is Krissy the Butcher. I am the co-owner of Bloodline Dynasty Tattoos, and I'm a tattoo artist extraordinaire. So the name The Butcher came from, so like I told you, the first shop that I worked at, I was the only female artist, and I was very young, and I did not have none of these visible tattoos. So the guys used to be joking around like, man, you look so innocent. You're probably in the back butchering bodies. And then so clients would come in like, man, I want to talk to the butcher, and I'm like, who are you talking about? And they were talking about me. So I was like, well, I guess that's my name now. You know, I would say butcher in the best way possible, like not in a like I'm about to kill you. But I definitely branded that name. It works to my advantage, so people know who they're talking about when they ask for me. So I've been tattooing. I started when I was 19, so I'm 31 now. So that's almost 11 years.
Mm-hmm. What got you into the art form?
I was always into tattooing, like from a kid. So, I mean, to be honest, I kind of just fell into the lifestyle. It's not something that I envisioned that I would do. I didn't know that females tattooed. So it's kind of something that I just naturally fell into it, and I was good at it. So I kind of rolled with it. So this is how it went. Like I was really highly obsessed with tattooing from a kid. When I got into high school, I really wanted to go to an art college, but like my parents weren't really for that because back then people didn't go into careers that were art based. So I kind of gave up that dream. Got a little bit depressed in college because I was doing something for other people and not for myself. So I started watching like I would be up all night and I'd be watching like episodes of LA Ink. And at the time, Kat Von D was like the one. So I saw her and it just hit me. I was like, wow, I wonder if I could do that. And I just manifested it. I did all forms of art. I did drawing, sketching, painting with acrylic and oil. I did clay sculpture. I also did batik. I did any form of art. Like I was into it, like very much so into it. It could be anything. I was really into painting like self-portraits. I like to paint the women in my family. Anything, like any assignment that my teacher gave us, like I was like full force.
At what age would you say, I guess it was noticeable that you had a talent?
Young. I was always drawing.
Right.
It's just I always had a knack for art or anything like visual. So I was always doing some form of art pretty much my whole life.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you were born and raised in Detroit?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I attended Wayne State at the time, and I actually got my major in biological sciences. Yeah, because my mom is a doctor. So I was originally kind of going either the med route or the vet route because I'm obsessed with animals too. So I didn't know which way. I just went with the route that was safest, what people kind of thought would be a safe route to go into.
Now, did you have a chance to do any work in that field? Or?
Definitely not. I was highly against it.
Okay.
Because I started tattooing, the second year of college, I knew in my head that's what I was going to do. But everybody else, I kind of just followed the path and completed school because that was what was expected of me. So I did that just to get people off my back. But I knew once I was done, I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to continue tattooing. I don't really care. Right.
So, can you recall your very first tattoo?
Yes, I can. So I got to start from like the beginning of the story. So so when I saw Kat Von D on TV, I was like, dang, like I didn't know women tattoo. Like I need to find a mentor, somebody that I can latch onto that can kind of school me. So I was on Facebook one day and I saw this fly ass chick. I was like, wow, who is this? It was a tattooer. Like she had like all the jewelry and the shoes and everything. And her name was Lady L. So I'm like, let me inbox her. So I inboxed her. And I was like, can you teach me how to tattoo? She was like, yeah, sure. She was like very open. So she was like, she did house parties, like, she did house parties at the time where she would have these big parties where all these people would come, and she was the only tattooer there that would be tattooing everybody. So I brought my whole squad, and we went to the house party, and I just sat back. I was so nervous. Like, I was sitting back just watching her. And then, so I finally got to speak to her. She was like, yeah. So tomorrow, I'm going to let you do your first tattoo. And I'm going to let you use my machine. And I was like, oh, shit.
Right.
So I was like, all right. So I woke her up early. She was still kind of like tired from the tattoo party the night before. And I brought my brother at the time. And she gave me her machine, taught me how a few little things. And I did a 7-mile tattoo on the inside of his arm. Wow. It's clean. Like, it's still clean to this day. Yeah, awesome. It was very clean. And then from that moment, I was hooked. I was like, oh yeah. The first 3 years of tattooing is the most nerve-wracking. First few years, my first 3 years was the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever experienced. Like, after I did that first tattoo, like, I passed out and went to sleep for the entire day. Oh, well, I was trained by a lot of like veterans in the game, so I'm really well versed in a lot of different types of tattooing. I pretty much try or do any style of tattooing. I mean, I know there's stuff that I don't do. I mean, I have done portraits. I don't necessarily like doing them. I don't like doing cover-ups, but other than that, I'll pretty much like whatever style I can kind of vibe off of and adapt.
You got any style that you prefer, any type of tattoos you really enjoy doing?
I love doing roses. Roses have become like the thing that people started coming to me for. So I love doing full color roses. That's like my thing.
So you say you learned from like a lot of vets.
Mm-hmm.
How was that process? Was everybody like as welcoming as the lady that your first?
No.
Right.
So I started tattooing a decade ago. So back then, women weren't very prevalent in this scene, especially black women. We did not exist really in this field. So, I mean, the people that I kind of filled it out with, they pretty much looked at me as like I wasn't serious, because first I didn't have the typical tattoo look. I didn't really have visible tattoos. I was very young, and I just didn't fit the mold of what a tattooer looked like. So they didn't really care. They just felt like, I wasn't going to be an asset to their tattoo shop. But really, once I actually finally made my way into my first official apprenticeship, me standing out became what elevated me.
How did the family take your journey into
I mean, it's just the fact that, the journey is fire, because my dad's an artist, you could say. He majored in architecture in the construction business for 40 years, so he knew about art. My mom really wasn't for it, because of maybe from a safety factor, because the tattoo industry back then was more raw. It's really connected to the streets, and you can't really get around that, so it is what it is. So me being a 19-year-old young girl going into that element, I had to go back to the hood. Right. I mean, that's just where I had to thrive at. Because the shops in the suburbs, they're mainly white shops, and they're definitely not gonna accept a young black apprentice. That's not happening. So I went back to where I knew.
How does a black shop compare to a white shop?
This is a controversial one. Black shops compared to white shops. It's just because, it's really hard to like sum up exactly. So, tattooing and skin tone play a factor in this, and I wrote a blog about this before. America, the U.S., skin tone is a racially charged subject. So it's just the fact that also when you tattoo black skin, it's a skill, and it takes a little bit longer, and it's an adjusted skill that people have to learn. So a lot of white shops back in the day would turn away black skin tones because they didn't have the knowledge of tattooing on black skin. So now black shops come along, they start tattooing black skin, and it becomes a sort of divide just off of the technique. In the industry, it seems like subcultures exist where white people get tattooed by white people, get tattooed by black people, and it just became that type of thing. But now it's starting to be, open up a little bit. I would say. But yeah, I mean, it's just a different culture in a black shop from a white shop. I mean, I'll say it. I mean, some people don't like to say it, but it
Yes.
is.
So this is a question that I asked everybody so far in the series is what does art mean to you?
Art? Ooh, what does art mean to me? Art imitates life, so it is life. Like, you can't get anywhere without art. Like, art surrounds us. It dictates like so many things. It tells your emotions, it mimics your mood, it's everything. Like, and of course I'm a tattoo artist, so my life literally revolves around art.
What are some of the tattoos that you have? Like, or do you have one that's more meaningful than others?
Um, I mean, I have my logo tattooed on my rib cage. It's two butcher knives
Right. Okay, I like
with the
that.
tattoo things on the end of them. That's one of my favorites. This whole sleeve is really a favorite of mine too. It kind of just marks like, so here on the inside, this was in my biology book.
Yeah.
So I stared at this image for 5 years straight. So I decided to get it tattooed on myself.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, this one. I have a gypsy holding a snake on me. I have some angels. The gypsy because I just love to travel. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very independent and I'll pick up, I know, especially my early 20s, I would just pick up and just travel by myself. It really didn't matter. So I guess my tattoos definitely mark different moments of my life, I would say. Yeah.
Lastly, just any advice maybe to an aspiring tattoo artist,
Mm-hmm.
a young lady who may want to follow in your footsteps.
For any lady tattooer specifically, you have to come in there with big nuts, imaginary nuts. You have to like come in there and be able to hold your own and not be run over, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? You come in with have a goal in mind, which is to learn how to tattoo. Anything else, forget about it. Like, come in with that goal and be very intentional in learning your skill, you know? The image is cool, but that's surface. That's just a part of advertising and marketing that can be used to your advantage, but your main foundation is to learn the art of tattooing. That's it. Get you a good mentor, get you a good shop environment, research the shop environment because not everything will fit you. The only way to really know is to maybe even get tattoos in a shop that you're thinking about tattooing at.